story that America, even Trump, doesn't like immigrants. It's not true. And the evidence of it is that when you go through what they call the bulletin for which is the priority dates for most visas to the US, most of them are current now. 10 years ago, 8 years ago, the backlog is about 7 years, 6 years to some of these visas. But now they are current, meaning they're desperately looking for workers. People don't want to work in the US. I know that. When you get your stuff right and you get right, they have tremendous respect for Nigeria. And I'm not saying because I'm in Nigeria now. Trust me, I'm not saying that. They are afraid of our hustle. And when I talk hustle, I'm talking about hard work. Nigerians can work, Nigerians are smart. The only thing is that when they come across the few ones that do them scam. But trust me, in the right circles, they will take a Nigerian over any other African, over any other European. I know, because I'm in that circle. So any lawyer that is collecting money for B1B2 is a fraud, really. Because they can't guarantee you nothing. And when they deny you, they can't even talk to somebody at the embassy. So what's the point? You might as well go do it yourself and just wish yourself the best. But those ones that are filed in the US, the O visa, the P visa, L visa, EB1, EB2, EB3, those are the ones I'm going to talk about today. Those ones are filed in the US. Now, the average person, whether here in the US, they know that everybody is trying to jackpot, that you are doing whatever you can. They know they are scammers, they themselves, they know they are scammers. But guess what? It's a country of laws. If you can document it, they look at it and there's nothing they can do. Ignorance on various types of visas. This part is also very important for us. Like I said, I believe more in the mental part of this. The individual, which one do I apply for, we can always do a consultation. This is one of the highest points of failure for many of us in Nigeria. You're a journalist, you want to go abroad. You go there, you fill out the documentation, you say you're a journalist, you're this, you're this, you're that, and you want to go for an event in the US. And then you're wondering why did they deny you because you applied for the wrong visa. Right? Because I-visa is for journalists. If you're going to go cover an event or you're going to go attend a conference, you can't go there as a journalist and say, I want to B1B2. Most times, they will deny you because you are coming wrong. And they're not going to tell you what you should do. That's not their job, they're not your lawyers. So my point is that when you, as somebody who has started a business, and you want to relocate to the US or you want to go do something in the US to stay a long time, and instead of going through the whole visa process, you're asking for B1B2. In their head, they are being fraudulent. You should go apply for O1 because O1 requires more documentation, but you don't want to do that documentation, you're applying for B1B2. Though you don't even know what O visa is. And they're not going to explain it to you. So, ignorance on the various types of visas available is one of the #1 points of failure. That's why I put that book together. I wouldn't call it a book, it's a compilation of the types of visas that are there. Take your time to go through it. Take your time. I actually give this things away before, but my staff say I can't be giving away my books again. Otherwise, because I want you to be able to go through, it's like 20 visas there. Then you earmark 2 or 3 that you think you can get the documentation. But all of this is the visa, this is what you need to get it, these are the kind of documentation. You do your own in-house analysis. That's why I always say, I'm not saying don't do anything you want. Let me put it that way. Before they say Dr. Place encouraging them to do fraud. No, you gotta do what you gotta do. Every one of us, I don't judge you. I'm not your father, I'm not your Jesus. Do what you gotta do. But what you need to understand is that when you are doing it, assume they will investigate. You have to understand that. You keep taking, they cannot come to your village. They have Nigerians they have hired. It cost my son 2.5 years to be able to come to the US because I made a very stupid mistake. So yes, last example again, I say this thing because many of us are tempted. But those of you are going to be using those touts. Somebody who doesn't have a visa wants to get you visa. You know those type of people. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. You got to do what you got to do. If you can't afford my money, you're not going to stay and die now. You're going to do what you got to do, right? So what I'm saying is that when you're doing that, be very, 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 very careful. Never let anybody fill forms for you. I just got that. Yes, just yesterday, another person called me about that. Even left Nigeria. They didn't document everything, And at the point of connection, in Djibouti or somewhere, they ask the person a question, because they manage the database now. So the question the person was answering, the lady, was different from the question that was in the form, the answer that was in the form. Ambassador can't get you visa, in case you are thinking. They have a simple rule in America. I don't know about London, I don't know about you, Russia. That officer that you meet when you go for your interview, that is your God right there. The Alpha and the Omega. The ambassador cannot tell him to give you visa. His boss cannot tell him. One thing you should learn from that, some of you, particularly those who are going for temporary type of visas, B1, B2 kind of thing, and then maybe you got there, the person was nasty to you, or the person didn't even review your stuff, and you are now writing letter. So you can't appeal, but you can do request for reconsideration. If the lawyer knows what he's doing, there's a number and an email that you can send an email and send a number to that. This is what happened at my interview. The person didn't even look at my whatever, make your case. Then, what you don't understand is that after you file that protest, that letter, guess where that letter is going? Guess, somebody, one guess. As he lands on them, they're going to forward it to a mail. So you can't be rude when you're trying to protest. You got to do it like a nice. So I tell people, when you are doing your B1, B2 of student visa, those small visa denials, you can write your protest letter. I will give you the number. I won't do the petition for you, but I don't even allow lawyers to do it for you, right? You do it yourself. I will write it for you, like you are the one writing. But if you are doing it yourself, you sound very nice. I was there yesterday. I'm not sure, maybe because so many people are there, maybe the officer was tired. But when I got in front of him, I noticed that she was not able to look at my documentation. And I could understand. But the truth of the matter is, I am qualified. I have this, I have this, I have this. Can you please help me impress upon her to look at my documentation again? That maybe they may find out that I was qualified, but because of the sheer amount of work they have to, you got to suck up. I see everybody talking about H1B, but H2B hardly ever gets exhausted. Even though it's a quota visa. Quota visa means they have a maximum each year, I can't remember, 20,000, whatever, but they hardly ever get looked at by people from Nigeria. Indians are all over it. Argentinians are all over it. But Nigerians hardly. So you should take a look at it. We're going to talk about that briefly later. A3 visas for training programs. This also hardly ever gets used by Nigerians. The other visa is for intercompany transferees. Anybody in this room can potentially use this, whether it's your company or the company of your uncle or company of your brother or somebody you know. It's as simple as transferring somebody from here to your US office to go and start a new branch if you don't have an office there yet. You know, something just like saying somebody works in your company, you want to open a branch in Owerri, and you're sending that person there to go and start the branch for you. So it can be you as the owner or somebody in management level in that company. Very, very potent visa, because it's one of the few visas that you can use to apply for green card in under 6 months when you get to the US. It allows you, your wife, your children, everybody to go to get in there. Those have been relaxed to the point that any type of person can actually qualify themselves for the O visa. It's just documentation, which is not only in the book, but it's in the book, but I'm also going to talk about it. You just have to supply 3 out of 8 different types of documentation. Some of them, if you are not that big yet, it might just take about 6 months to put it together. Things like getting on award. Award is easy to organize in Nigeria. Things like getting published in the press. What does it take? Any press people here? There's not much it takes to get published. You understand? So we're going to talk about that in a minute. P visas, for those who might be in the entertainment. I'm talking about actors, actresses, cameramen, and all those posts. This is supposed to be their visa, but have you ever seen them talking about it? Somebody who's an editor, somebody who's a photographer, all that. This is their visa, but they go to the embassy, they are looking for the B1, B2, and they never get it. Q visa for cultural exchange, or the Ayubas of this, what type of thing. So
I actually want to ask about the religious visa.
Yes.
Because even though we know that we are quite religious here, but from what I understand, or maybe from my findings, we actually need somebody to maybe sponsor you while in US.
Yes.
So I don't know if you can clarify on that, at least more information.
Yeah, the religious visa, just like most of the other visas, is you are trying to go work for somebody abroad, unlike the EB2, for instance, which is why I'm saying you want to mark that one seriously, the national interest waiver. So if you get approved for national interest waiver, you don't need an employer, you don't need anything, you just go. So most of the visas, one of the major problems or hiccups is that you need an employer over there. We're going to talk about that a bit, about how some of these visas you can use your representative to short circuit that. We're now having a situation where we can set up an agency. The agency recruits you to work for the US company, more or less like a cutout. But the question you are asking is, for the permanent religious worker, even the temporary one, you need an employer over there. You need a church that will be willing to take, and that's why I'm saying you sit down with your lawyer. If you're a redeemed person, there's 1,000 churches abroad in the US. That you don't share it. When you do like that.
And my first question is, if one wants to relocate through work, not you getting there and then looking for the work, but the work calls you.
That's the best. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What type of visa is that? And that's one question. Second question is, does your organization do that? You know, there's some organizations that look for work for you, and then the work calls you. Not a fake work.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
Okay.
No, even those of you have a job, because there are levels of jobs there. I'm talking about some of those jobs are $300,000 a year, some are $50,000 a year, some are $100,000. You will find your level wherever you are. Just make a point, apply to about 5 to get a very good CV ready, and then apply in your team. Tell them straight up, you are in Nigeria, but you are willing to relocate for this job. You can even go so far that if the company is not ready to do the immigration papers for you, you are ready to do it yourself. You have a lawyer, you can mention my name. My point is that some of those companies are that desperate. They will hire you and they will wait for you. If it's going to take you 6 months, 1 year, 2 years to get there. I'm not kidding. Indeed.com, INDEED.
To go there, but they denied them twice now. I don't know the reason, and I don't know what to do. And the form they gave me, they said you can't appeal. You can't appeal.
When they deny you, they will give you a paper. But what most people don't pay attention to is that on that paper somewhere in the bottom, they write a section, like section so something. Well, that is why they denied you. But because you don't know what that is, you don't know what to respond. So what I would suggest is that I can get that paper from them, scan the front and the back. You send it to me, I can then go check that section. I can almost guarantee what they are denying them for, especially while you are there, they took public benefits.
You discover that you have made an attempt earlier to apply, and you did not proceed. Is there anything barring you from making another attempt?
No, even if you have been denied, you make another attempt. The only thing is, if you are denied simply because you didn't qualify or your documentation is not complete, that's okay. If you are denied because you lied, that's a different thing. You have to make sure you tell that your lawyer that. It does not mean impossible. It simply means you are going to have to apply for a waiver.
Your legal fees, when is it going to be paid? Before or after?
Sorry, the professional fee, the way you want to go about the professional fee is you pay half of it for us to get started. Okay? Now, of course, what I recommend is you do your consultation to be sure, unless you're 100% sure you will actually qualify. For what I don't want is people pay me money when it now comes to the time to document, they can't even document. So we have that preliminary talk, and then we can then get an idea where you want to go, what kind of documentation you have. Give me a rough idea for me to know in my head that I can work with that. Once I'm satisfied, then you pay your fees. Most lawyers get all their fees in advance, I know, but they're going to pay me half of it. That is for this EB1 that we're talking about, that is 7.5 for both combined. If you just want to do the I-140, pay half of that, then we open the file and then we start the back and forth and assign a paralegal to work with me on the team, to work with you the documentation, and then we work on the legal briefs that I work on. So that's how we work. But
what did you gain from this seminar today?
We actually gained a lot. The seminar was informative, it was educative, and I was able to get the fact that there are several ways you can gain entrance into the United States. It's just that you have to be aware of them and take advantage of the ones that apply to you. So actually I gained a lot. I mean, so much that I can't really process now.
Oh wow, a lot. I'm a travel agent, okay, and there are a whole lot you need to get from the bosses, from the people that know what you want to do. You don't just dabble into things without going deep into them. So when you come to webinars when you come to seminars like this, you get the full picture. You have a full idea. You have the understanding of what you're about to go into.
When he was speaking, I was speaking out. I was getting some things that you don't need to fast and pray to get a visa. Most especially if you know you're doing the right thing. You only need to position yourself, rightfully document everything that you need to put in place, which I got here. I mean, what I got here, I came for free, but I got more than 100,000 naira project here. This all the information that I got here. That's why I have to go for the book so that I can go more on the book. So there's a lot to gain here. Matter of fact, I've been looking forward to opening my business in America, and that was one of the major things that prompts me down here. And I got the rightful information, the easy step-by-step approach.
Okay, what motivated you to organize this seminar?
Well, I believe that a lot with the situation in Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians are looking for opportunity abroad. Let's call it what it is. This jackpot symptom that is going on. But I realize that a lot of Nigerians are getting taken advantage of because people who are not immigration lawyers or people who have never been to US or any of these countries are taking advantage of the desperation of people who really want to leave Nigeria. And I felt that it is important for somebody who is actually trained, somebody who is experienced in immigration, to organize a workshop that will actually essentially tell them what they need to do so that they don't have to pay tax and all that. So that's why it's a free seminar where we talk and take questions about specific visas. So that is the primary motivation. Of course, I'm also a lawyer. I'm expecting to get some clients at the end of the day. But the idea is this free seminar is to provide a 4-hour free consultation, so to speak, on different visas options out there and what are the things people should look for so that they don't fall into the hands of touts.
So what did you gain from this seminar today?
Oh, a lot. There are so many immigration routes I never knew about before, and I'm just hearing about them for the first time today. And Dr. didn't just mention them, he went deep. He took out his time to tell us, the possibility, and he made it look like very, very possible. Sometimes when you look at this on the internet, they seem as if it's an impossible route. But with the way he broke everything down, he made it very easy and, interesting. It's aroused my interest for myself, for my family, even for my friends. I'm going to, start telling people more about it.
The category of visa most Nigerians know is the B1, B2 visa, which is what almost everybody knows. But here we are today. I gained a lot from the category of the O visa. I also gained the category of the, so many categories that are not exposed, to other people. But for me, signing up to this program today, although it's a free program, but then I gained a lot. I gained so much. In fact, it's everything to write about. And it's not something that can be attached to a particular value. It's more than $1,000. It's more than $10,000. So it's actually worth it being here today.
So from this seminar, I think I'll be able to educate my client and guide them well to do the right thing.
All right, thank you. That's great. You talked about your book concerning visa application. So can you briefly tell us about it and why people should get it?
Yes, the book is USA Immigration Without Tears. Basically, what I've done in that book is covered about 21 or 22 different types of visas that people can get in the U.S. because a lot of people get denied at the embassy, or they don't know what to apply for, because most people just thought going to US is about getting a B1, B2 visa, visitor's visa or a student visa. Meanwhile, there's I won't say countless, there's dozens of visas that might fit their situation more. Take, for instance, a journalist who wants to go abroad. They go to the embassy and they say, oh, I want to go cover an event, I need a visitor's visa. And they get denied. Why? Because the minute you say you want to cover an event and that you're a journalist, the visa you should have applied for is the I visa. But most of them don't even know what an I visa is. So for me, I feel that compiling a book that actually basically tells you the different visas, what it takes to apply for them, and the kind of documentation you need to get it, I solve problem for a lot of people, because once you go through it, you might realize that instead of going to apply for a student visa, maybe it's an O visa that you should apply for. Maybe it's a P visa, because many of those visas are never finished. Their quota are never finished, because people are not even aware they're there, like the O visa or P visa, because nobody's talked about it. But with that book, you're going to be able to get up to 20 types of visas that you may be qualified for. And when you look at the requirements, you'll be able to determine which one suits you, even before you look for a lawyer, even before you look for any visa process, or you do it yourself.